Yeah,
So it
exactly.
worked for me. Yeah.
Exactly. I was just about to say, make it work for you instead of work for everybody else, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do.
You're doing a great job.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Okay, everyone. Let's go ahead and start playing. Let's rally up here. Hmm. Okay, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. And thank you all for being here and for being a part of our soul family. Um, Grateful to have you all here. Guillermo and I we have noticed a really common theme on this particular trip. I feel like I talked about this already, G. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. I ask Guillermo every once in a while. I'll say to Guillermo, Guillermo's my channel. I'm like, Guillermo, what should we talk about today? And he just looked at me and he goes, home. And we are going home. We're leaving London to go back home to Amsterdam later, but um, we yeah. Oh, okay. Uh, we have, our time here has been so incredibly precious and special and unique. And there have been a few really, really, really amazing connections that both Guillermo and I become very, very aware of. And it's the beautiful energy of home. And we saw an exhibition at the Tate Modern. This gentleman who lived in Korea, also lived in New York and lived in London, and he talks about infusing them all to actually create his experience of what home really is. And there were some other things that really came about too. We saw Oliver, and Oliver was all about this little boy whose mom dies after childbirth. He goes into the orphanage and this horrible journey, but then returns home when his biological grandfather, finds him. Just a lot of really beautiful reminders of what home is today. And Guillermo and I really have had such a great time here in London. And we both have said numerous times, do we have to leave? Do we have to leave? Do we have to leave? Because it really, really is one of those places that whenever we're here, it just feels like home. And we really love it here. And I just want to express an immense amount of gratitude for everyone who made this trip so possible and all the amazing British people who are just wonderful. And the experiences that we had are really, really great. That being said, we have a really, really jam-packed, energetic week ahead for you guys, ahead for everybody. But really, things are going to we're going to start to hit the rocket fuel here pretty soon. Actually, today, the planet Mercury moves into the sign of Virgo, which is great, great, great for communication. However, it really may be more so about the communications that you've been unwilling to put into action yet. You will get a real awakening of when those communications need to take shape and need to take form. Because there's a couple of really interesting things that are happening this week. Actually, next Sunday, September 7th, is the full moon. Um, it's the full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces. And so what that means is it's going to bring a lot of really cool revelations of some things, maybe some things that we've been unwilling to look at. But allow yourself to know that we're completing a really big cycle that started around March of 2023. Okay. March of 2023. So think back to March of 2023 and up until really about March of this year. What are some of the things, the big life lessons that you have had to learn? Um, okay, think about that. March 2023 is when these eclipse seasons started, this particular thing, and it will end at the end of September. So we are closing a chapter. And so it may feel like you're going to take the SAT, the big test, and you're going to find out whether or not you get the right amount of points to get into the uni that you want to get into. That is the energy this week. So you may feel a little bit on edge with some of the things that are happening around you. But the more that you can maintain and be mindful of the process that you've been on and what you've been learning, the quicker that you can get that grade and move on and go to that next level, that next step. But we are really closing a chapter with these eclipses. Okay? Really closing a chapter with these eclipses. And as we do so, we're going to tie it up in a ribbon. I was actually meditating on them, and it was really kind of interesting because it was about the time around the 2023, around that time that my mom started her, let's say, ascent into the upper worlds, meaning she had fallen out of remission. She got the news that she had fallen out of remission in June of 2023, and she went into treating all the different types of cancer she ended up having for the 2 years thereafter until her final bow, we'll call it, which happened around May. So um, that was definitely a massive, massive, probably one of the biggest life lessons anyone can go through and learn. And I'm very happy to have those over with. And so I share that with you guys because remember, astrology is a roadmap. It's not a crystal ball, right? It's a navigation system. It's not a fortune telling system. And so, if we use it as a navigation system with these particular things, we can actually look at other times in our lives and the things that we've learned. And so, as we close this chapter of Saturn in Pisces, also, it will really bring new things. Exactly, Amanda. We get new programs. We get to reprogram the GPS moving forward. Okay, guys, let's go ahead and begin the meditation. Let's close our eyes and find ourselves in our heart. Returning home. What does that mean to you? Returning home. Close your eyes and find yourself in your heart. And from this beautiful space in your heart, let's begin today by taking 3 deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. In through the nose and out through the mouth. In through the nose and out through the mouth. And now let's shift our awareness to the center of the earth. And as we shift our awareness to the center of the earth, let's imagine this beautiful energy swirling around in the center of the earth. And from the space in the center of the earth, let's imagine this energy scooping up fresh earth energy, coming up through the soles of our feet, through our ankles, our calves, our knees, and our thighs, and traveling up through all of our chakras and popping up outside the top of our head and forming a beautiful ball of light. And now switch your awareness into this ball of light. And imagine this ball of light traveling up out of the space that you're in, higher and higher and higher and faster and faster and faster. Imagine that ball of light lifting you up out past Earth's atmosphere and out into outer space through different planets and galaxies in the Milky Way. And higher and higher and higher beyond there, out into different layers of light and some dark. Through those layers, out into a beautiful golden like light. And through the golden like light, into a jelly like substance light. And through the jelly like substance light, into a beautiful pink haze, which is the law of compassion. And through the law of compassion, you enter into the seventh plane of all that is, the plane of creation, of oneness, and of complete totality. And as your ball of light dissolves into this beautiful energy, you feel the connection, the contribution, the collaboration of all things, all atoms and molecules of existence here. From here, We're going to ask for some downloads for the group. As a reminder, downloads are just energies that we receive into our subconscious, thoughts, feelings, emotions, experiences. Receiving them into our subconscious, as we do so, we change our beliefs, and we change our reality. So let's see what we got here. Getting a lot about being prepared. So, would you like to know what it feels like to know that you're prepared? That you're prepared. Don't worry. Nothing can throw you off. Nothing can throw you off. You're prepared. So, would you like to know what it feels like, looks like, tastes like, smells like, sounds like, and is to know in every single cell of your body that through that you can always look forward to the new opportunities that you are creating for yourself? If you'd like that, say yes. And would you like to know what it feels like, looks like, tastes like, smells like, sounds like, and is in every single cell of your body to be excited for new opportunities? Be excited for new guidance, both internal guidance and spiritual guidance. Would you like to know what it feels like to activate, to activate all those energies that may be dormant in your awareness, energies that you may not have allowed yourself to feel like you were ready for. Here we go again with the energy of preparation, right? You're prepared, you're ready, let's move forward and let's create something great and amazing. So would you like to know what it feels like, looks like, tastes like, smells like, sounds like, and is in every single cell of your body? To have the courage to be brave when choosing those amazing things. If you'd like that, say yes. I heard Amanda and I actually, more inspiration from Amanda. We had such a beautiful conversation yesterday, one of many, about the energy of grief. And, many of us have been going through grief in our own way, right? And for different reasons. Some of you may be grieving relationships that are transforming. Some of you may be actually grieving loved ones who've been lost. You may be grieving the loss or the transition of a job or an opportunity. Whatever it is, allow yourself to acknowledge that. But remember, grief is your own. Okay? I've found personally, as I share my story and my journey, there's oftentimes a point of view about grief that comes up that comes from others' experiences. When they say, "Oh, I know how you're feeling. I know how you're feeling, and it's so horrible, and you never get over it, and you this and you that, and you this and you that." And I really, I have to tell you, I bought into a lot of that. I bought into a lot of that, and I really, um, I validated a lot of that. And then I realized, oh, we can choose a new way of grieving, right? We can choose a new way of allowing that energy to go through you, to process through you instead of being held into you. And so I'm looking at this a lot. What is a new way to grieve that allows us to have a sense of ease and a sense of peace with that which we are or have lost in our lives? And to know that it never really truly ever goes away. It just takes different shape and different form. And do we allow ourselves to acknowledge that different shape and that different form? All of the things, not just a loved one or a lost one, but a career or a job or something as well. That also shifts, but we still learn those lessons. We hold tight to those. So, would you like to know what it feels like to ask yourself, what would it be like? What would be the ease filled way for me to grieve in my own life? And would you like to know what it feels like to know that you're worthy of allowing yourself to grieve in that way, the highest and best and easiest way for you? So if you'd like that, say yes. There is a actual law in the universe. It's a law, it's an energetic law, right? And we often think that, let's say, to have people come towards us, that there are things that we have to do or things that we have to be. Like, think, for example, of a comedian, right? A comedian wants attention, a comedian wants laughs. And so they go through a huge process of getting those laughs, getting people to come in their audiences and sit in their audiences and laugh and get them and all that kind of stuff. This is an extreme example, but I want to bring it back home. What is it that you want to draw people into your life that you may be doing instead of being? Okay? So what I mean is that in order for you to attract into your life that which is truly what you're asking for, the vibrational match of what you're asking for, you simply need to look at the energy, not the action. Yes, the action is important, of course, but the action is not where you rely on. It's not what you rely on. It's the energy. Your energy draws people to you. Your energy draws opportunities to you. Your energy draws abundance to you. So, would you like to look at your energy today and ask yourself and the creator and your guides and your angels and your masters, ask, what energy am I projecting out into the world? That if I became more aware of the energy I was putting out into the world, would attract a higher vibrational awareness of that which I am actually seeking. So anything and everything that doesn't allow that, let's just destroy it and create it. Okay. Great. And so now let's shift our energy to those who require our healing space today. Please remember, when we're offering healing to someone, we just imagine them surrounded in the Creator's love and in the Creator's light. Okay. So, what I'd like for you to do today, each of us to do today, is to hold space for the grief that you may have in your life. Okay. And if that doesn't resonate with you, if you're not grieving, which is absolutely wonderful, not a problem. What if you held space for someone who is grieving, who you know is grieving? You know, um, one of the things that I have found recently, as you know, as I've spoken to you, my best friend Stacy also lost her father a month after mommy transitioned as well. And so to hold space for her grief allows me to also heal in my own way and hold space for my own grief. And so imagine someone who requires healing today from that point of view of grief. It could be you. And I want you to actually imagine the grief, not just the person, the grief, the energy of the grief. And I want you to invite the creator of all that is in to actually shine light, shine unconditional healing and unconditional light into that energy of grief. And see that grief as something that is separate from them, not a part of them, but separate from them. Almost like a garment that they wear, like a jacket. So imagine them taking off that jacket, that garment of grief, and hanging it up on a hanger. And then watching the creator come in and actually changing the color of that coat, maybe even the structure of it, allowing the creator's light to wash that coat with unconditional love and unconditional healing. Allow that coat to become comfortable. Allow that coat to become supportive and warm and protective. And now invite them to put that coat, that new coat, on. See it come on and watch their expression of grief transform. Watch their energy shift. So beautiful. And last but not least, would you guys like to know that you are unconditional love, that you be unconditional love, and that unconditional love is your birthright? If you'd like that, say yes. Now let's take our palms over our palms together, faster and faster and faster and faster and faster. Place your palms over your eyes. Your eyes are the windows to your soul. When you're ready, you can open up your eyes, allow that energy to come into your body and into your being. Place your hands on your heart. congratulate yourself and thank yourself for being here, for showing up today, and for being a part of our amazing soul family. Guys, thank you so much. It was such a beautiful awareness with the coach and the this and the that. So cool. I'm sure that came from your energy. Thank you. And I'll see you same time, same place tomorrow. Bye, everyone. Thank you. Bye, sweetie.